All right, you guys, welcome to our video about equations with fractions. Basically, what's just going to happen is we're going to review all of our different problems with equations, but we're going to have a focus on the fact that our problems are going to have fractions in them. Okay. Now, I understand that can be a little bit intimidating. It doesn't have to be. Okay. I will give you tips and techniques that you can work with that'll help you with those fractions. Okay, so 14 equals 3 over 4, so 3/4 x. Okay, now you can solve these different ways. I'm just going to teach you the best approach that I know how, okay? But if there's an alternate way that is still getting the correct answer, okay, keep with it. Okay, you may have learned something from a different math teacher, and you are more than welcome to continue to use that approach. Okay, so when I see equations that have fractions in them, my goal is to get rid of the fractions, okay? And I get rid of the fraction by multiplying by the denominator. And when I say I'm going to multiply by the denominator, okay, I multiply the entire equation by the denominator, okay? In almost, it looks like the distributive property, okay? So if I were to put parentheses around my entire equation and I would multiply by that denominator, well, that means I'm going to multiply 4 times 14, and I'm going to multiply 4 times the 3/4 x, okay? So this is why I mentioned that you might want to have a calculator by your side because some of the numbers you get might be a little bit larger than you're comfortable doing in your head. So 4 times 14, so that gives me 56 equals, okay? All right, and then 4 times 3/4. So 4 times, and remember if I'm using a graphing calculator, okay, I'm going to put it in parentheses. I get 3 and then x, okay? So this is why I multiply through by a common, by that, not a common, by the denominator, okay? Because now my new equation does not have any fractions in it, okay? So now if I want to solve, okay, I'm going to divide both sides by 3. So 56 divided by 3, okay, gives me 18.66, or simply 56 over 3. So I'm just going to leave it 56 over 3 equals x, okay? It is perfectly okay, that we got a fraction for our final answer, okay? And then I'm going to type that in. So 56 divided by 3, yes, and there we go. Okay, so you can even see that Mr. Delta Math here, he's got a slightly different approach. Okay, it works. There's not one correct way to do this problem. There are lots of different ways that work. Okay, so let's try another example. Negative 17 equals negative 3 halves b. Okay, all right, so I'm going to multiply the entire equation by the denominator, and the denominator in this case is 2. So I'm going to multiply 2 times negative 17 and 2 times negative 3 halves. Well, 2 times negative 17 is negative 34 equals, okay? Now, I didn't say anything in the first example because I just wanted to solve the problem, okay? Now, multiplying fractions, okay, when you multiply 2 times negative 3 over halves, okay, I don't have to do all the multiplication work because I know that those 2's cancel or they eliminate, so I'm left with negative 3. Okay, which allows me to multiply this value right here very quickly in my head because I already look at it and say, oh, 2 over 2, that cancels, so I'm just left with negative 3. All right, now I'm going to divide both sides because I want to isolate the b. So I'm going to divide by negative 3. All right, and 34 is not divisible by 3, so this is just simply positive 34 over 3 equals b. Okay, the only thing I could adjust there is that the negative divided by a negative became a positive. All right, so I'm going to go over here, 34 divided by 3, submit my answer, yes. Okay, and again, Mr. Delta Math has a different approach, which is okay. All right, okay, so that's how these set of problems are going to continue. Okay, and what I would recommend to each of you is that you have your calculator out. Now there are a couple of apps on your phone, okay, that you can get if you need to have a graphing calculator app. Okay, let's see if I can get that to focus in. All right, you can see it right here. This is what's called Calculate 84. Okay, and when you have a nice, it looks just like that. Okay, so if you want an app on your phone that gives you a graphing calculator, Calculate 84. Okay, and that's for iPhones. Okay, if you have an Android, you want to use, the name is silly. It's called Wabbit Emu. Okay, there's your Android option. Okay. All right. So if you're still trying to figure out what you want to do, those two apps on your phone would be great. Okay. All right. I will come back with 2 additional videos, and good luck, you guys.